Un objet très rare et follement original.
Ah oui? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
C'est un zirgouflex.
Salut à tous, it's Marie from Just French It. Today together we are going to talk about the tools you should already be using if you are learning French. What would a carpenter be without his tool? Well, same thing goes for you. As a language learner, you're not supposed to know everything, but if there is one thing you need to know, is your way around those tools. And careful, I'm talking about tools, not resources. Tools are websites, apps, books that you are going to use to do one specific task. Resources are places you go to practice. For example, YouTube videos are resources, books that you are going to read in French are resources, TV shows, movies are resources. Tools are dictionary, thesaurus, apps to check the pronunciation, etc. Clear enough? Now let's get started then, because you should already be using these 6 tools. The first tool that we are going to talk about is WordReference, because a good dictionary is essential to your learning. But it's even better if you can have that dictionary online, right? So you don't have to carry around a huge book. Well, WordReference is a website that is basically an English-French, French-English dictionary. But it does even more than that. You can use it wherever you have a doubt, you don't know a word, you can find the right word, or you don't know how to pronounce something. Yes, because WordReference is way more than a dictionary, and we are going to see that together just right now. Okay, so this is the dictionary entry for vendange. Vendange, that means harvest, or grape harvest actually, in English. One thing that I want to show you before we look at the actual dictionary entry is that you can listen to the pronunciation over here, either with a Canadian or French accent, so that's already super great. But what interests us, what is interesting for us, is this. All of this actually, but this in particular. So you're going to have several translations of the same word, or composed forms of the word, okay? So make sure to check those little symbols here. This one tells you that this is a feminine noun, okay? So the composed verb, the composed forms of the word, etc., etc. You know how a dictionary works, right? It is my number one tool, and I recommend it to anyone learning French, whatever your goal, your level, or your learning style is. Also, what is nice about WordReference is that it's not only French-English, English-French, you have tons of languages. So if you're a language learner and that you like languages, it's really, really worth it to know your way around it. The second tool is also a dictionary, and we talked about it in this video already. It is Linguee. To be short, sometimes WordReference is not going to find the word that you need. And it can be frustrating, you know, as you generally, if you're looking for the word, you need it right now, right? So that's where Linguee is useful. Not only it is a dictionary, but it also has a function that WordReference doesn't have. Translations in context. That means under the usual dictionary entry, you will get a series of sentences, generally from government sources like website or certified translated text. And they are translated for you, they are in both languages. That's pretty cool if you are looking for a specific term that WordReference doesn't know, or that even Linguee doesn't know. In most cases, you won't need Linguee unless you're looking for a technical or specific word. Also, as WordReference, it is an app. One of the pain of learning languages is the conjugaison. Am I right? Well, I have the tool for you. L'obs, la conjugaison. You know, because of the different group verbs, the exceptions, the subjunctive, etc., it's quite hard to wrap your head around conjugaison in the first place, but it's even harder to use it correctly when you speak. So that's where a tool like la conjugaison comes in. It's pretty simple. You just enter a verb in a search bar, and the website is going to work for you and give you all the verb tenses and the forms possible. That's pretty cool, right? There is several tools like that on the internet, but I like this one in particular because of the layout. The conjugaison, it's super clear. Obviously, all the links are in the description below the video, so check them out as you go. Un becherel. Un becherel. Actually, la conjugaison is a modern version of something French people are familiar with since their early childhood, and that most of them fear. Like, really, fear. Le Becherel. It's basically a dictionary of conjugaison. So you can imagine the faces of French pupils when the teacher actually asks to take out the Becherel. So let's show you how it works. This is a Becherel. This is the Becherel I have. But anyway, this is how it looks like. It's pretty similar to la conjugaison, except, well, you have the verb here, and then you have all the verb forms here and here. So indicatif, subjonctif, impératif, conditionnel, infinitif, participe passé, gérondif, bref, you have everything on there. The only problem with a Becherel like that is that it's a set list of words. It's a set list of verbs. You don't have all the verbs in there. So that's why the internet one is probably better. But if you don't have access to internet all the time, you know. Let me show you how it works because it's not necessarily very straightforward. So with a book that is like that, you won't have all the verbs, okay? You will have all the verbs forms though. So you will have examples with how you are supposed to conjugate them. For example, this one, it is the verb assiéger, which is a verb of the first group en éger. So this is how you going to conjugate the verbs in éger of the first group. And at the end, you have what is interesting for you also as a language learner. It is an index or a list of a list that is more complete than the list at the beginning of verbs, and they tell you which example you should take to conjugate the verb. I hope that's clear. Not sure that's super clear for you. But anyway, this is a Becherel. Obviously, you don't have to invest in a Becherel if you have access to the internet all the time, because you have amazing tools like the one we saw just before, la conjugaison. But if you do want to invest in a Becherel, make sure to take a rather modern version and of that brand, Le Becherel, and it's generally by the Édition Atier, like that, Atier. The next tool that we are going to talk about is Scribens. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but anyway. It's basically the French equivalent of Grammarly. Who uses Grammarly? Tell me in the comments. If you're writing an email in French to someone or even a comment and you really don't want to get it wrong, you can check out your French spelling and grammar on Scribens. You need to go on the website though, as the extension is a premium feature, but it's really worth the hassle of going to another website to paste your text just to make sure that what you wrote is grammatically correct. Now, obviously you won't catch everything, but it's a good start. And the final tool, which can be a bit surprising, is Google. I didn't say Google Translate, but Google in general. When I have a doubt about a verb form or a spelling, I simply just type what I think is right in Google. And if it's wrong, I'll have a suggestion, and if it's right, I'll have examples of sentences in which my form is used so I can check out that the context is the same. Now, if you are going to type a verb form though, remember to put a subject with it. Now, on the note of Google Translate, it can be a useful tool and is getting better and better. But please, don't use it to make complete sentences from English to French. No, you can use it as a translator from French to English to understand a broad meaning if you want. But be mindful, please, of the punctuation though, because it is very important for a good translation by Google Translate that the punctuation is right. You can use it as a dictionary, but please keep in mind that for the same words you have several translations, and I'll advise you to use WordReference rather than Google Translate as a dictionary. There you go, you're all set up with those 6 tools. WordReference as a dictionary, Linguee if you're looking for technical terms, Lobs, la conjugaison for conjugating your verbs, un Becherel if you don't have access to internet, Scribens when you want to make sure that what you wrote is grammatically correct, and Google just to check out a few things here and there. Now, is there an app or website you're using as a tool that I forgot to mention? Tell me in the comments and help out your fellow French learners. Now, help me out and share this video with your friends if you found it useful. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and in the meantime, use the tools, use your French, and I'll see you Friday for Vendredi Vocabulaire. À la prochaine!